Kirill is going to speak to us today on sovereign money for all. And this initiative that I think the leader of or pushing for in Europe is, well, I'm going to let him explain it. I could go on, but it's good to keep quiet before I stumble on myself. So, Kirill, welcome here. And we love to hear a bit more about yourself and how you evolved, and then a lot more about your thoughts for Europe today. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me here. Yes, so I'm born in Bulgaria, lived in Germany for more than 10 years, and now for the last 13 years in Switzerland here. So I have 3 passports. I collect them. Now I'm involved with the sovereign money movement now for the last let's say 2 years. Unfortunately, I missed the Swiss referendum on sovereign money in 2018. But I read all the information about this, and I think learned the lessons learned from the referendum. And one of the points was one of the lessons learned was that they focused too much on solutions than on the problems of people on the street, right? And there are no people, or very few people on the street who, if they are being explained how the current monetary system works, they will go to the street and make a revolution. Very few people are able to understand in that. And so I'm going to talk about the practical ways how to reach out to the people and how to involve them into process. Let me just share my screen. Do you see that?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Great. So yeah, everything started about 2 years ago when I searched about the information of the monetary system worldwide, and I was studying how little information is spread in the world, how uninformed are people about the problems. I've seen this poll mentioned earlier by Gabart, and in average 20% of the people understand how the current monetary system works. My personal poll says that less than 1% of the people understand how monetary system works, and which is even more alarming that activists, let's say green activists or social inequality or democracy, whatever, they are maybe even less informed about the main drivers of those trends nowadays. But in order to have successful campaign, we need for sure to involve the people on the street. So I've seen the current campaigns, they involve scholars, they involve also to some extent activists from various NGOs, but most important, you will understand or you will agree with me that we need to the people from the street, right? So we need to bring this information to everybody. Yes, what is the idea of how to bring this information to the people? One of the ways is to start a petition. And a petition is just a hook, I would say, just an instrument, just a way to approach the people. And our assumption is that, you know, this quote from by Henry Ford saying that if the people understand how the monetary system works, they will organize revolution. It has been said around 100 years ago, but I think that is still valid, even more. And such a information campaign, or in the form of petition, will be a kind of counter for us, for all organizations involved into this campaign. Also driver or motivator to continue the campaign, right? The more every new person, every new signature is a step towards a new monetary reform. Yes, last but not least, it's an instrument for political pressure. Maybe the weakest from all those 3 points. That's the weakest way, but still creates somehow of pressure to the politicians. What can be done in the European Union and how? So the proposal is to set up this petition, and bottom up, created by us, by normal people, right, and supported by normal people. We don't believe that any change will happen from top down. So there is a plan now for the for digital euro, retail CBDC, which should be established or introduced in 2026. But the plan is to some extent good, but there are also a lot of negative sides which are not finalized, and so we don't believe that those so that the retails, the digital CBDC will be finalized in the way we think it's good for the population. And the petition is in fact, the only direct democratic instrument in the European Union. And the criteria for the petition text is short and simple text, understandable also by a wider population. And we don't know to have predefined solutions in the text to avoid the mistakes from previous campaigns, also worldwide. And the idea is to involve the more as many as possible IMMR organization or sovereign money organizations from Europe, but also outside of Europe, and to have a lowest common denominator. Yeah, that's about the basics. And there are two petition types currently. The so-called European Citizens Initiative, which has relatively high requirements. So we need to gather 1 million signatures within 1 year. And that's maybe not a problem, but the biggest problem is that the articles we are interested in, especially the one is Article 128.1 in the Treaty of Functioning of the European Union. That's more or less the constitution of the European Union. They are excluded from the European Citizens Initiative. So we officially approached to the European Commission, and they said that we are not allowed to touch this article, and we are allowed to touch only articles from 2 to 6. And this treaty has I don't know how many articles, but 200 articles or whatever. So most of the stuff is not untouchable, right? So people cannot propose any changes in the maturity of the topics. So we took the decision to continue with a normal petition, and the advantages are that we don't have minimum number of signatures, no time limits, no legal requirements. Should be, that's our idea, to be lower, to be conducted with relatively low effort, and in general, it is a good timing, because of the everlasting potential upcoming stock market crash. And the plan for the digital euro, which should come up 2026 if there are no delays, and to explain to the people which points are good and which are not good in those plans for the digital euro. So we have the chance here really to introduce something good, but we need to stick around, right? As an NGO. The cons for petition are that the EU Commission at the end is not obliged to propose any legislation to the Parliament, but that's also true for the other form of the petition for the European Citizens Initiative. So there is in fact, no disadvantage here, right? The petition text should has two main points. One is in fact, I will switch to the homepage. Do you see that? That's the Treaty of Functioning of the European Union. That's the Constitution of the European Union, and we have here the Article 128, and it says that the euro, the coins and the notes, that they are legal tender. And what we propose, in fact, to have a kind of comma here and saying at the end, not only coins and notes, but also any kind of digital money called euro should be legal tender and should be issued by the central bank, right? And we are not advocates of the central bank, of the European Central Bank. So I have heard voices from other European sovereign money organizations that we have to fight the ECB, the European Central Bank. We have to fight the CBDC. Yes, they have disadvantages, but that's the money topic is very wide topic. So we cannot put all the problems into one petition. It's a matter of opening or starting another petition or another movement. So we're just talking that authorized public institution needs to create those money, and this money needs to be legal tender. That's the only thing we are saying. It's also in line to the IMMR manifesto, and also very similar text to the petition of Alliance for Just Money, right? If I'm not mistaken. And beside that, we need to trigger a EU-wide discussion regarding the questions which the institution needs, in fact, to create this money. Is it the ECB? Is it then the should be maybe a specifically created institution? How much money needs to be put into circulation, or just to start a discussion, right? So we are not the smartest people. We cannot decide on that. How democratic needs to be such institution, and so on and so on. So those questions kind of not in the petition text, but needs to be addressed for sure during the discussions within the EU. And as mentioned earlier, majority of the initiatives in the past, they targeted straightforward the problems of the monetary system and demanding change and saying that the commercial banks, they create money and so on and so on. That is very few people would understand this straightforward immediately, this topic, right? So while our strategy is to to target maybe the symptoms first of this current system. And there are a lot of such negative side effects of this system. And if we can engage the people starting with their own problems of every person, then eventually we might be able to explain them what is the main driver of their problems, right? And there are a lot of such problems. Now we have created kind of poll or survey. I will talk later on about how exactly we did that. In Switzerland, this is the results in Switzerland. So the main cause of the current monetary system, right? Where the commercial banks create money, and the system creates negative side effects, right? And one of the according to these the people are most concerned about potential bank run, right? But so this data is has started from February and is lasting till now. So the biggest concern in Switzerland is the bank run, and it is has strong relationship with what happened with Credit Suisse in March, right? The collapse of Credit Suisse. That's why maybe the question of bank run is so interesting here in Switzerland. Then we have on second place the climate change, the social inequality, and so on and so on. So we can go on and put even more negative side effects along those here. For example, the health, the declining health conditions of the population. We can create such link also for many other negative side effects or negative symptoms in the society, right? But all those symptoms, they help us to find a way to approach the people. And we don't want to stay only with the symptoms, just to cry about the how bad is this or how bad is that symptom, but also to make the strong link to the main driver, and to explain eventually what is the main cause from our point of view for their problems. And the campaign has mainly two ways to approach people: the online and the offline campaign. In the online campaign, there will be also the focus of the campaign. We have 4 waves. The smallest waves will be just the creation of the homepage of our homepage, sovereignmoney.eu, sovereignmoney4all.eu. Then to engage also sovereign money organizations across Europe, and so that they place the link to this petition on their homepages. Then to engage other NGOs which see those links between the symptoms and this main driver. NGOs from the climate change movement, from democracy, human rights, and so on, right? To organize webinars with them. One case was the organized webinars on 19th of September, leading by the Positive Bengada Suisse, the Swedish organization, and supported by many other sovereign money organizations, but also from the green NGO scene, like Greenpeace. So that's a very good example how it works. Then the next biggest wave will be to use the instrument of the social media, and also the viral marketing, hopefully to be able to create such contents which are short, catchy, and spreading like wildfire. So we are in talks with. Let me just, if I can do that, to switch to an example here. How can we create viral marketing? So we're in contact with Akai Roland Siegenthaler, which is who is very well known here in Switzerland, cartoonist who creates cartoons on political topics, right? And he joins very often political events and attends to those events. And at the end of the event, of each event, he during the event he draws his cartoons in a very funny way, and then he's able within a few minutes at the end of the event to explain to people what was the topic of today's event, and to in a very funny way to engage the people. And so I joined a lot of such events, and they confirmed that that was the most important part of the event. They understood almost everything just because of this type of presentation. And he not only draws but also explains this with a very easy words. So we can include that type of presentations also into the webinars, and then we are owners of those pictures, and we will be then sharing them with the social media channels, right? And that's the hope that they will spread easily. Then Google Ad Grants, I will talk later on about that. And the biggest wave is to count on the followers from the previous waves. One example here is we had a meeting with Mary Lou together from IMMR with the founder of European Citizens Initiative, and who explained us a very astonishing story about his petition towards European Commission. Most of the time, so about 1 year minus 10 days, they had managed to gather about 600,000 signatures, and they were disappointed because they saw that there are only 10 days left and they will lose the petition. It will be not registered at the end, will be not presented within the European Parliament. And in the last 10 days, they once again approached all those previous people who joined the campaign and asked them to spread the word, to contact the VIPs, celebrities, whatever people, important or very well-known people they know, and to ask them to post this information on their homepages. And obviously that worked. Within 10 days, they managed to gather another 600,000 signatures. And so within those, within 1 year, they managed to gather eventually 1.2 million signatures, and the initiative was registered at the end. The homepage of the European Union went down as a consequence of these 600 people visiting the homepage only within 10 days, but they managed to recover that. And they lost a lot of signatures, he said. But this is a positive sign. It is possible. It is possible. I think, and the petition, with this type of petition, was about protecting sharks in EU, within the EU, European Union. And I think our topic is maybe more important than the sharks. If we manage to to change the monetary system, we might be able to control also the main drivers, also to protect sharks, and more people will follow us. Just to focus on one of the instruments, Google Ads Grants. So this is a virtual budget given by Google for NGOs to attract visitors to your own homepage, right? And so expected volume for such instrument is between 200 and 400 clicks a day. So eventually we get, if we sum up, we get 72,000 visitors a year, which is free of charge. And so if we have multiple organizations which are targeting the same topic, so we are going to have huge impact or huge, tremendous channel to inform people, right? We already use that. We started that using for the Sovereign Money for All homepage. And it is very easy to set up. So I can provide just an export file, and just with fine tuning on other accounts, we can have it running within very few days, and so that everybody can profit from this instrument. Just get back to me, and we can organize that. As a part of the offline campaign, sure, we have the standard instrument, the demonstration, info points, conferences, and so on, releases in conventional media. And then the biggest wave maybe will be this support by VIP and celebrities, which I mentioned earlier, which works also in the offline, as offline. And just to focus within the offline strategy, to focus on one of the instruments, and this is the national petitions. So we are going to conduct EU-wide petition, but they also the opportunity of national petition in each country. And as an example here, the Austria, as a country, they have a very favorable conditions for petitions called Volksbegehren. In fact, you need only to register to gather 8,000 signatures, and then once you have that, every county, every city in Austria is obliged to publish the text of the petition, and then at the end of the year, there is a whole week where people can vote for that, right? And last year, there was a very successful, one of the most successful petitions in Austria of all times, to very simple people from the street, I can say. They managed to run a petition to write the right for cash into the constitution of Austria, and they managed to gather 500,000 signatures within 1 year. But it is possible only because these favorable conditions that so you get in fact free of charge advertising campaign by the cities and by the counties, right? It is published everywhere in the country. You need to gather only those 8,000 signatures, and very similar to that is also, I think, Finland, if I'm not mistaken, and Netherlands. So we are now in the process of figuring out how exactly to do that in Austria, and as a next step to continue with the other countries like Finland and Netherlands. Yeah, and what are the next steps with the with this petition. We are, so the leading role has the Austrian sovereign money organization. And we are going to have kickoff press conference in Vienna on 24th of October this year to official launch to the petition. And it is not something which we are expecting to show immediate effect or to gather within shortest time, let's say 1 million signatures. That is not what we are expecting. We want to be to grow steadily and to be around at least by till the introduction of the digital euro 2026, and to be able to inform as many people as possible. I think I'm ready with the presentation and will be happy to answer your questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Grill. If you can stop, well, maybe you could stop sharing, and then we can see who will be asking questions better.
Sure, just let me manage that too, because this button disappeared suddenly to stop sharing.
Take your time. Should be a red button.
Fonzo can do it for you.
Ah, yes, please. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. You know what? I have a bunch of thoughts and questions that, but you know what? I got the feeling someone else is going to be able to say what I'm thinking in the, and he's not far away. John Howell, can you talk a bit?
Well, I just want to thank you for your steady work on this thing, and I lived in Switzerland for 9 months and was really interested. This was back in the 80s, but I was really interested when they took the initiative to try to do the Vollgeld Citizens Initiative, which you all can do there in Switzerland. And my understanding is that these Swiss initiatives, they commonly occur throughout, year after year, various kinds of initiatives, and they seldom pass the first time they're put on the ballot, and that some of them then have been put on the ballot repeatedly and finally get passed. Now, I'm not deeply familiar with the specifics of that history. You may know more about it than I do, but I am interested in, is there any sense of repeating that in Switzerland?
Absolutely. Well, we see constantly here referendums on the same topic. It is not forbidden. In Netherlands, for example, you cannot raise the same topic within a certain period of time. But in Switzerland, if you have the resources, you can rise up the topic every year, if you like. So there was a topic of the universal basic income within 2 times within 4 years. That's not a problem. But the problem within Switzerland is that the sovereign money organization here is very weak. People are tired after the referendum in 2018 still, and so that's why I decided to organize something in Europe, to start something, to trigger something within the European Union.
No, thanks for your good work.
Thanks.
Nick, please go ahead.
And thank you very much, Will. That was a great presentation, and very inspiring. I really don't have a question. I just want to congratulate you on what you're doing, and get us to start thinking about doing something similar here. We don't have the petition initiative in the greatest country in the world, as we like to refer to ourselves. So anyway, it's just great work, and you've got our congratulations. I just published a book recently, first of 3 books. The others will be coming out shortly. Money Creation 101, which was my independent citizens initiative or whatever it is, to try to get information out about how our money is created. It's on Amazon, and I think it's available in Europe for you to get too. So great work again. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Okay, Howard.
Yeah, thanks, Krill. That's really the central issue for us, isn't it? You know, selling this monetary reform that we need. And I thought your diagram with showing the different areas that monetary reform affects, I thought it was interesting, found it humorous that it went from bank runs all the way around full circle to financial crisis.
Well, that's maybe technically, if I may answer already, that's a technically technical reason, because it is this kind of poll has been conducted by using Google Ads, right? And in Google Ads, you need to have certain topics you need to talk about to attract people to each landing page. One landing page is for one topic, and the thing is that we have a lot of keywords. We have a lot of arguments for separating the bank run and the financial crisis, and people don't make so easily the link between bank run and financial crisis, but that's fine. We have one more topic to talk about, right? So this is purely technical separation.
Yeah, thank you.
Lucille, if you could unmute yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So as Kirill already knows, but not everyone in the audience knows, the Alliance Board has endorsed the petition campaign in the EU zone. So the last people who spoke, some of them were from the board and are aware of it. It's super good. And you referenced, and I want to say to Alfonso, I checked, and Fernanda wasn't here for this presentation. So Alfonso, please make sure that Fernanda sees the recording quickly and shares it with our other staff people in the Alliance. You referenced the Alliance petition, which we have a very simple petition on our homepage. We have a second one as well for a National Monetary Commission. But the first one you referenced, and it's very basically asks for the same thing, but it is just on our homepage. We have not done the kind of campaign that you're doing. And so your presentation was super valuable for that purpose. But I wonder if there's anything more you can tell us and tell people, even in the audience, in terms of using our petition to get it out there now. But do you recommend like a separate petition page, like how to collaborate with other organizations? What sort of any practical advice from both your work with the Full Geld Initiative campaign and now your effort, you know, in the official one with the European Commission, and now this more grassroots one? Technically, practically, you know, 3 more pieces of the most crucial advice for us doing something similar in the United States, across the whole country, across all the 50 states.
Well, a petition, I think every homepage needs to stay concentrated, focused on a certain topic, right? And a homepage of an organization can and should include a petition. But if we want to lead people from which never heard about this topic to a new to a homepage, then it needs to be simple, and it's to be clear for the people, for the visitors, that what is the topic about, right? What we're talking about, and they will lose orientation if they are on our typical organization homepage. So maybe we need for petitions dedicate a separate homepage, right? So that we use with huge buttons, click here, something like that. This is our petition. We have just a few sentences for you, and then at the end, for sure, this call to action section needs to be simple. This in separate, in parallel to the organization homepage. I think this is advisable to separate them. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nick, you have a question now?
Yes, I question, comment, whatever, is I think that the Mayday for Money campaign that we're working on, which is for us to make a physical presence at the Federal Reserve in Chicago in May of 2024, to bring up the discussion of our money system and the injustice in it. Anyway, that we should work a petition campaign into that, and I understand that. Well, we could do a petition, where people just sign their name on a thing, as I've done petitions before the whole digital age exploded. But also, if we had a petition online, everybody's got their damn phone in their pocket or whatever it is, that they can just get it right out and sign it right there if we showed it to them, on the street in Chicago or anywhere else. And I'm interested in what my compatriots who are working on this Mayday for Money think about this, especially Fernanda, who evidently is not here for this most important discussion. So are you also talking to people in the street on this campaign at all, or
yes, so that's the plan, but starting with the online instrument for sure, and then moving spreading to the offline for sure. It's also depend on our resources. So we start with small resources and hope to grow bigger and bigger, because for offline campaign you need much more resources, right?
Oh, sure.
Yes, and we start with the online campaign, and also the idea is to engage the younger people, the younger population, which uses the social media.
Okay, and what is the exact text that you have in your petition? Did you provide that at the start? I know you were talking about different ideas and things, but have you centered on something?
I can post it in the chat. It is available.
Okay,
thanks.
Good. Thank you.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, I was interested in your comment early on in your talk about this sort of balance there is in terms of the message, that oftentimes we go to specific solutions before people are aware of what the problem is for which this is a solution. And I think we've been guilty of that in monetary reform a lot. And we've been talking about this in the Alliance, in our committee that's kind of reviewing the NEED Act and its sequel, the American Monetary Reform Act. And we've been talking about that. And for instance, in our petition that's on our website, there are 3 things listed. And that is, requires Congress to be the sole creator of all U.S. money debt-free as authorized by the Constitution. That's one. Next, it ends the privilege of commercial banks to create money. And the third one is, it makes all remaining operations of the Federal Reserve System accountable to the public. And one of the discussions that we've had here is although the essence here is a transfer of money money creation and control of the money system, which controls where resources go, to transfer that from the private sector, that is to say, from privately owned banks, into the public sector. So that's the overall goal, in a sense. And we've talked about the idea that the third thing on there, for instance, remaining publications of the Federal Reserve System accountable to the public. Well, that may be more of a detail of a solution, one of the possible avenues for getting to this transfer. So we've been talking about that in the context of our own, essentially, petition that's in our website. And I just wanted to hear, maybe you could say a little bit more about this balance between, stating the solution and stating the problem that people can actually relate with, as opposed to the solutions that we offer.
Well, a petition needs to be short for sure, understandable. That's clear. And in the petition text itself, you shouldn't talk about those negative side effects for sure as well, or just very with few sentences or maybe one sentence on. Also, because you cannot cover, this is a huge topic, especially the monetary current monetary system. It's not like protecting sharks. It's in one sentence you can cover everything, right? We can talk here for hours about the negative side effects. So you need to expand on those effects outside of the petition, for sure. That's clear. Still on the petition side, if you want to place everything on the homepage, but should be outside of the petition text. And from having the experience here from Switzerland, where we sign something literally every week, so some petitions or for referendums or for changing the constitution. So people very often they don't read the petition text itself. They're interested in only the way how you present that and the main statement, the main message, what you have. So we have main messages starting with the bank run, with the climate change, and so on and so on. Okay, clearly in our case, a lot of people from the sovereign money movement, they don't support this linkage between for example, the climate change and the current monetary system. There are a lot of such people. They say that this link is not strong enough. They don't see that at all. But still, this is a topic. It doesn't prevent us to talk about that. That they might be a link between these and these. I mean, there are a lot of countries in Mexico, for example, which we have the health of the population is really, really bad, right? Now, since joining this World Trade Organization, I think in the mid of the 80s, there are statistics saying that they gained the average person in Mexico gained more than I don't know how many, 20 kilograms, and that's here we see here clear linkage between the modern the disadvantages of the modern society and the health of the people. And what is the main driver for the modern society? That's the printing of the commercial printing of money of the commercial banks and investing only in profitable deals, and not only that, but also without need to pay for this creation, right, of money. And that's on the one of the points. And another point is that whenever you create new credit, So somebody needs to pay out this credit, and so the producer needs to increase the production, and in order to produce to increase the production, he needs to start a marketing campaign, and this marketing campaign in the modern world leads to this image of consuming everything what you don't need. You need for sure to have the latest iPhone, you need to have whatever, the latest car and so on. So this is also kind of linkage to that. So if you want, we can link everything to the same main cause, yes.
It's true that there is this link that we sense in terms of this main driver, but people perceive a lot of other things as drivers that aren't as deep as this, and so that's what they have a hard time seeing. So thanks, for your description.
We got it. Just a quick minute or two. Michael, you can have the last question.
I'm sorry, I was all excited about reaching down into the corner to the buttons, but they gave me a dialogue box instead. But this is fascinating stuff, and to live in a democracy where there's petitions every year and stuff, that would be pretty amazing. But the fact of this money, reform. I saw as our land guy got invited to one years ago. I'm a painter. I was working downtown. I hung around for a while. I heard him speak. It blew my mind. And so I've been telling people ever since. But the Poor People's Campaign, it's called for a moral revival. That's why I want to talk now during this session. They're building a movement, and they're linking systemic poverty, systemic racism, war economy, ecological devastation, and religious nationalism. And it's run by affected people. Reverend Barber, you can find Poor People's Campaign on YouTube. It would be fascinating because they have speakers to have some experts, intellectuals, deep thought leaders, to give a couple of minutes when they're around. And the other thing is, by combining for this May Day at the Fed, any people that you can attach from the Poor People's Campaign, you could get Reverend Barber to be standing in front of the Fed, then we'd have something. But I don't know that that's going to happen. But even just a larger crowd, and he's already teaching this stuff, but he's not going so much. He's going to policy. It's policies with the money. He stresses that over and over again, but he doesn't get into the policy about creating the money and managing the money. And so that's I think that's a great opportunity for us.
Michael, let me cut in a little bit. Stay there, please. It's 11:02. We're 2 minutes over, so we need to get on to the next speaker. But what you're saying is very important about Barber. And also, as we move from petitions online to street work and the work connecting with people on the ground, like you're suggesting. So please get in touch with me afterwards. Get in touch with John or Lucia or the Alliance for Just Money, and we need to meet. I'm a Chicagoan. I know all the politics down there too, so I look forward to meeting you and continuing on. And thank you, Krill, for letting us detour this last second or two. But your knowledge and enthusiasm is spilling over on us because we want to do the same thing. The fact that you got 1.2 million, it blows my mind, because where we are with the National Monetary Commission, which is very similar, you've got, you know, your experience has to come to us because we've got so far to go, but using Google Ads, getting it right. So this has been a course for us, and we're in comradeship and we're in brotherhood or sisterhood with you, and let's go forward. Adelante, as they say.